thought the Warriors had the worst loss simply because when you're thinking about the Denver Nuggets, that's who they were going up against. I understand they started off shooting badly. They missed like 13 of their first 14 threes, ended up shooting like 8 of 33 from three-point range, if I remember correctly. We know that's an aberration. Anytime you got Steph Curry on the court, that's an aberration. But still, you're going up against the Denver Nuggets, and the Denver Nuggets did not play with Nikola Jokic. They did not play with Jamal Murray, and they did not play with Christian Braun. I mean, all three of them was out, elbow, ankle, and foot injuries respectively. And still in all, the Denver Nuggets beat them. Why? Because Aaron Gordon dropped 38. Because Russell Westbrook, who we don't say and rave about enough, man, what a resurrection this dude has been with his career, what he's done for Denver. He's been a spark plug and Energizer Bunny, had a triple-double last night. What is it, 12 points, 16 assists, and 12 rebounds. I just can't say enough about Russell Westbrook. I know it was a disaster in L.A. with the Lakers, but it was great with the Clippers, and it's even greater with the Denver Nuggets. I can't give him more praise than that. I mean, what a future Hall of Famer. What a special performance by him as well. And, of course, Michael Porter had 21 and 10. I'm just looking at them without Jokic, without Murray, without Braun, you still beat the Warriors. And I think that, again, I think it's an aberration. But in the moment, you can't take away from what Denver did last night, considering they won 12 straight with Butler in the lineup. They won a 7-game winning streak, and all of that got neutralized. And you didn't even have your two biggest horses on the court with you when you did it. Can't say enough about that loss to Denver last night. Major props to Denver, but it was a bad thing for the Warriors.
Well, I co-sign that. It was horrible because we're talking about the Warriors as being a championship contending team. That's all I heard. They'd won 12 or 13. They was on this 7-8 game winning streak, and yada, yada. They got Jimmy Butler. Nobody gets to the free throw line more. Nobody makes more free throws. Steph Curry is having a resurgence. He was having a great season, even better since Jimmy Butler arrived. This is what we're talking about. No Nikola Jokic, no Jamal Murray, no Christian Braun, and you lose at home? Look, I understand the Wolves, but no one is talking about the Wolves as being a championship contending team like we were over the last 3 weeks to a month, talking about the Warriors and since the addition of Jimmy Butler. This was a cataclysmic loss. Now, I'm not saying they can't right the ship, but we're talking about one game last night, the Warriors versus the Pacers, the Pacers versus the Timberwolves, or the Warriors versus the Nuggets. When you don't have the MVP, he's looking like he's going to be second in the MVP. You don't have Jokic, who's a 30-point walking triple-double. You don't have Jamal Murray, who's the second best player on the team. And Christian Braun, who's been a godsend. He's played very well on both ends of the court. And you lose at home when red hot as you've been by the Warriors. This was a horrible loss. It's not even close. And I know they had a last-second shot, but this game was never close, if you ask me.
Honestly, I want to sit here and give my answer, but I'm still distracted by your cold open and you thinking that you can get buckets on me. I'm not going to lie. Stephen A versus you and Molly, we saw Stephen A take down the TNT crew. That man practiced and he shot his shot. So I have to give Stephen A a little bit of respect.
Oh, he wasn't talking about on the court. He was talking about on the show.
Oh, no. I got both of them in my sleep. But, honestly, I agree.
Nah. Look, take Shay and I on the show all day, every day.
Look, I'm not going to argue with you, Molly. They too, they need to behave because yesterday they were trying to high five and do the whole bro thing versus me. That's not going to happen today, okay? But the main reason why this was a horrible loss for the Golden State Warriors, if you go to our ESPN app, there's a nice little fine line that separates 6 from 7. That's the difference of the playoffs and the play-in. And I say you want to avoid that line like it's a crime, especially when you have Steph Curry, who just turned 37 years old. And I feel like Steve Kerr, his comments after the game spoke volumes and said, man, Steph is tired. And I don't think it's just a physical tired. This is a guy that typically, we just celebrated him scoring or having 4,000 threes in NBA history. This is a guy that is known for getting those threes by movement, by how he runs, his fitness, his cardio. But also, it's been a long season for them. There's been so much pressure. I feel like this is the most pressure Steph has had as a Golden State Warrior to perform. This year, since maybe his championship run, I would even say prior to 2022. So when I look at this Golden State Warriors team, they had the opportunity to create some distance. That was a gimme game. There's about over 10 games left for most teams in the NBA season, and you're fighting for your playoff positioning, and they lose, and you consider the fact that this right now is the playoffs for most teams. So I think it highlighted some weaknesses and a lack of urgency, and also a need to protect Steph Curry so that he does not have to be in the play-in.
I'm surprised at you. I'm surprised at you, Janae, because here's the reason why. Well, first of all, you're right. You would smoke both of us in all likelihood, and I give it to you. But here's the problem. Well, come on, Mr. Hip Action. Stop. We got to give it to her where it's due. But here's the deal. I'm surprised at you, Janae, in all seriousness, because you understand what transpired. I mean, you're going to see the Warriors miss 13 of their first 14 threes. That's an aberration. You're going to see them shoot 8 for 33 from three-point range for a game. That's an aberration. We all know that that's not something you can expect from them normally. You've been cruising. You've been winning. And even though they didn't have their horses and it's a bad loss, please don't get me wrong. It's just one game in the regular season. I'm not going to overreact to that. And I'll tell you this much as well. When you look at Steph Curry, listen, if Steve Kerr's going to say he's tired, he's tired. Remember, you ain't got to worry about back-to-backs. You ain't got to worry about a lot of things come playoff time. And you know your energy and your adrenaline is going to be elevated. And you know that brother Steph Curry is going to show up. The key, I will tell y'all what to peel from this. And take that highlight off the screen. I want everybody to pay attention to what I'm about to say. Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry, Shannon, Shanae, I get that. My eyes are on Draymond Green. Who the person that went on national television during All-Star Weekend and guaranteed the championship? Who's that? That wasn't Steph. That wasn't Jimmy. That's Draymond. You understand? And I've been on the record because they leave him open. And remember, for years, his three-point shot had dissipated dramatically. It was like, damn, what's going on? You got to hit something. That brother's been hitting some threes now. Now, let me tell you something. The other night, he hit 4. I'm looking at him, and I'm saying, wait a minute. If this brother is going to, because we know what a point forward he is. We know, how great he is in setting Steph Curry up, getting him the basketball, pushing the ball up the court, running their offense. We know how valuable Dre is in that level. But if this brother hits his threes when he is open, that changes the dynamic of everything for the Golden State Warriors. That's why the guarantee matters. Because when he's making shots, guys, you have to, that's a profound positive impact for the Golden State Warriors. If Draymond is making open shots, I understand that, Shay, but what I'm saying is I'm not talking about all of a sudden you change your strategy because, of course, he's not a shooter. But what I'm saying is if you don't guard him and you leave him open and he hits those shots, it changes everything. Because then they can upset somebody in the Western Conference. So that man that opened his mouth and guaranteed the championship, it's literally on him. Because I know what Jimmy Butler's going to do. We know what playoff Jimmy is all about. We know what Steph Curry is all about. But if Draymond makes shots, it's a different ball game, but he got to do it. So it's on him, a lot of it. And we got to remember that.
You said he made 4 the other night.